So, I made some changes to the stream. I made an emote that is pending. The emote is "Don't look at me," which is aptly named because we're gonna get into this Chun-Li and like kind of where we landed with it. I think there were some pieces that needed to fall into place at the end that like really didn't, and it's funny because like I was talking about how in the old on the last stream about how you can get tired, like your eyes will start going, and I'm tired right now. I normally don't stream this late, but we are streaming this late because they're doing construction on the apartment upstairs. Like it's fucking crazy. Um anyway, at any rate, we're live now, and that's the important thing. Uh so yeah, we were talking about how fatigue can set in, and you can kind of be like, "Oh, this is good," and then you see it later, or you see it on a different device, or like whatever, and then you're like, "Oh, this isn't as good as I necessarily thought." So we're going to, with that in mind, tweak the first Chun-Li that we did a little bit, and then we're going to make a new one just for us. Hey, Panda. I was just saying we're gonna get into this in a second. Also, in addition to the emote, is the new alert, which I think I can do. I think I can do a test subscription. Yeah. So I made a little badge for the alert that pops up now. Member of the Comic Coloring Society. It's based on the old Comics Code logo. I was gonna do like a secret society thing, but I don't know. It didn't like the more that I messed with it, the more I didn't like it. I just want to keep it simple. All right, so let's get into this. This is where we left Chun-Li, and there's a couple things that I noticed when I was on other screens, or I was on, just gave it a little bit of room to breathe. Sup, boys? It's not as bright as I wanted it to be. Like, Capcom makes things very, very, very bright. And also, the background is terrible. The background's like the last thing we did, and I was like tired, and it just wasn't coming together. So we're gonna fix all those things. So I think that the background is going to be better if it's like kept simple. So we're gonna try to do that, and I didn't like mess with this at all beforehand. Like, we're just gonna do it on the fly. Like I said, I want to keep it as simple as possible. And like we're just, I don't know, just kind of messing around. Like I think like that looks fine. And here's the thing. Here's quick and dirty. Here's how you can make your stuff look a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more, I don't know, have a little bit more depth or whatever, like just a little more contrast. So we want to go bright. We want to go like Capcom bright. So we're gonna mess with the levels, and now we've only selected cyan, magenta, yellow. So we're gonna tweak the levels just a little bit. We're gonna pull it on both ends, so that the highs are higher and the lows are lower. That makes sense. And then we're just going to hit with CMYK selected, hit the hue and saturation, and just ever so slightly saturate it. So like now it's looking a lot brighter than it did before. Like I can show you what it looked like before. And it's like a little more dull, especially in the blues. Like the blues look a lot more dull here than like this. Like this looks like Capcom stuff. So I think this was important. We're gonna save it, and we're gonna take just the line art, just the background here, and we're gonna do a new version. We're gonna do a version just for ourselves. Capcom be damned. So what are we going to do for that? What I would like to do for our version is do like a kind of darker but like sunlit, like rim lighting kind of thing, and we're going to try to work from this. And if that goes real bad, then we're gonna work from the flats. I think I saved the flats here. We could throw them in the alpha channel over here in the other one. We can even grab the alpha channel of the cuts and everything. If we really if things go real off the rails. Yeah, we're gonna do like a Chun-li noir. That's exactly what we're gonna be. That's a very apt way to put it. So the first thing I want to do is deselect Chun-li, or deselect the background, select Chun-li. Man, I am not used to. I'm on like a normal sleep schedule now, and like I've been getting up early, and I'm not used to working this late, and I apologize if this stream goes like totally off the rails, and like we end up with a bunch of crap at the end because I'm tired. That's on me. My bad. Like I said before in the beginning of the stream too, the emote is still pending, so hopefully we will get to see that coming up. So we're gonna start by just like really darkening it up. Let's make the design features on her outfit kind of like pop more. Now, at this point, like what I'm doing is, instead of thinking of it like, okay, we have to this has to make sense, we've abandoned that. We've abandoned making sense. And instead, in its place, what we're just going to do is be like, how do we make this interesting? Because this is just for us now. Like, we talked about making it for Capcom and trying to get a job and whatever. And like a lot of people that work within the entertainment industry, they sit here and they try to make a portfolio for other people over and over and over again. And they, like end up banging their head against the wall. This is all selected, right? Yeah. They end up like banging their head against the wall, and then they find that the second they make something for themselves, that like things start to click. People start to respond to their work. And I'm not saying that, people weren't responding to the other one and that they're going to respond to this one. I'm just saying that, like artists can get into different mindsets, and different things. There's not like a one size fit all solution to everything. A lot of times comics, I feel like you have to like find your voice, and it just takes time, like doing pages over and over and over and over again to find that voice. And sometimes it takes people, like it took me, got a little bit of her skin. It took me probably a solid like 3 or 4 years before I got my like first big work. So, all right, let's mess with the background. Let's do something cool. So, let's desat Chun-Li a little bit. Just a hair. Trying to figure out like what the best way to do this is. Maybe instead we do background first. Let's do background first. Is that not? Oh, we're like we've duplicated layers and shit. Like, oh, there we go. There we go. All right. It's all right. I'm a professional. We all make mistakes. Don't look at me. It's fine. Yeah. So let's kind of figure out what we're gonna do. I wanted to try like kind of a new, like kind of weird lighting scheme that I've never tried before. So we're gonna do that. Man, DSAT like really takes the fucking love out of this thing. Maybe we just like wash it with a hit it with more blue, I guess. I feel like we're really laying on the at this point we've like washed the thing with like freaking 80% blue. Like we've really gone deep on it. We're going to end up losing the facial features and stuff. A lot of the subtlety is gone. And that's fine. Cuz we're going to start to build on what we've got here to like do this kind of like, it's going to be weird. It looks weird right now. It looks weird. But it's going to not 90% blue gradient layer. Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah. We're in that headspace right now. It's gonna look weird until it doesn't look weird. Oh god. It's gonna look weird until it doesn't look weird. Until I don't know what point that's gonna be, but we're gonna work it till we get to that point. And you know, like a lot of my color remix, plaid layer on top, yeah, just call it a day. Blue gradient, 90%, plaid layer on top. Don't even adjust the plaid layer. That's the key. It's to just leave it plaid so that they think they're getting Chun-Li, but they just get a layer of plaid over a Chun-Li drawing. When it goes to print, it's just plaid. That's kind of like, I know that I said earlier that there's like no silver bullet to like, you know, breaking into comics, but that is the silver bullet. You've found me out. It's a layer of plaid, and then I don't know, and then profit. We stumbled into a South Park reference. I apologize. Nailed it. Yeah. So I picked up a green screen. It's not set up yet for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is continuity's sake. Like I kind of wanted all of the Chun-Li streams to go together, the two of them. You didn't miss like 6 or something like that. There was not 6 Chun-Li streams that you missed. But I also kind of want to like mess around with it. Like I don't want to half-ass it, so I'm still like experimenting with the green screen. It's gonna be awesome, but it's on hold for now. Like the lighting is a lot of work and trying to figure the thing out. I think I might do 2 green screens. I might do like I don't know why this is like this. Oh, it's because we've deselected everything in here. That was smart of us. I blame the chat. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I kind of want to like mess with the color balance here, warm her up a little. Maybe we don't warm her up a little. Maybe we cool her down. And then fuck with the shadows? Yeah, maybe. Alright. So, we're going to start kind of painting the background a little bit. I'm phrasing this all like a question. We're going to paint the background a little bit because I feel like so much of this, like I'm like neck deep in experimenting right now. So, you know, if things go off the rails, this was your fault, chat. What does this look like? It's all right. Yeah, let's, you know what? Let's use this. So I kind of want to do like a weird rim light thing. We might add a layer of texture over the whole thing too. I kind of don't, especially when we're experimenting, like I kind of don't like adding a layer of texture only because oh god, what button did I hit? Oh god, don't look at me. The reason that I don't want to add a layer of texture is because I feel like a lot of times when something's not working, that's like the quick fix. A lot of times with artists, they kind of like, or colorists, not artists. Well, I guess artists too. Like the way to make this, you know, feel more organic, feel more interesting is like, oh, just throw, you know, some watercolor texture over the whole thing and then you're all good. And it's like I don't really want to live in that space, so we're gonna try not to. We're gonna try to have this get by on the choices of our own merits. But if we get to the end and our own merits suck, then like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Don't judge me. So yeah, we're just trying to like kind of trying to like infer a light source behind her, like a really intense warm light source. It's kind of like picking up the edge of her a little bit. And I'm trying to make her like almost like glow, but we're gonna get there eventually. It doesn't look like that now, but we're gonna just kind of experiment and try to make it a little interesting. So we're gonna take a lighter shade now, kind of do the same thing. Oh, we didn't go around her little buns. So I'm noticing now that this like kind of needs to be thicker. This is a weird chunky brush, and I don't know if this was the best choice. It's late, and we're not making the best choices. Welcome to the stream. Let's select a different brush. Let's go with our old standby of Conte 2. I think part of the problem that I'm having right now is that there's no kind of like rhyme or reason to this. Like the art isn't the rendering on the figure doesn't kind of make sense with what's going on right now. So we gotta make that make sense eventually, but for right now it's like kind of not. So anyway, I've had a crazy week of trying to get a lot done, and then also the workers on the floor above me are installing a bowling alley, and then testing the bowling alley, and then tearing down the bowling alley, and then building a city street. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy, and I haven't been able to stream at my like regular times. And then like I'll get a little bit of time and I'll be like, oh, I'll stream now, and then it's like, well, now we can't. So I apologize if I've like been kind of missing streams. We are gonna stream tomorrow as well. Tomorrow it's gonna be like a little more chill because we're not gonna be doing as much as I want to do an art stream. I don't want to start an art stream and then kind of abandoned it. Like, this is the thing. I don't want to start an art stream that I can't finish, and I think anything that I do on tomorrow will have to be in multiple parts, and I'm going to take the next week off for Thanksgiving. So, because Thanksgiving, if you guys don't know, is like kind of one of the more busier times out of the year. And the reason is because a lot of comic artists are trying to get everything out the door for, like, you know, January. And you can't make, like, you know, if like books don't ship as often in December, you know, there's like an off week, but like that doesn't really help you when you're making stuff for January. So you kind of like have to hustle. So I'm going to be hustling, and I'm not going to have any time to really stream, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to I'm going to be doing the Wubjack whoa. Getting phone calls. We're going to be doing the Wubjack challenge on when that goes live with Elder Scrolls Legends tomorrow. I have a new little animation thing to try out with the layout. I'm very excited about it, but we have to win games to get there. So hopefully we will not have as much bad luck as we had before, because it was real bad. We had, for anyone who hasn't watched that stream, we had like weird RNG luck where, like, if I cast a card and it transforms into a different card, and if it had stayed the original card, I would have been fine, and then it just like turns into like these shit creatures, and like, you know, there's nothing you can do. But we're rolling the dice again, because you know what? We're due for some really good luck. All right, so we've kind of started working towards this. I might make... All right, how do we get to where we want to get to? Let's stop and think for a minute. I think what we want to do is some very, very warm rim lighting on her. And I'm going to use the wand for this or the lasso, because I want this to be kind of feel right, feel solid. This is going to be a little less sketchy than the stuff we just did. And like I said, I hope this works, because I've never done anything like this, and this is kind of like an experimental lighting stuff, and we're doing this live. We're doing this on the fly, and you know, part of the reason why I do this stream is so I can experiment a little bit. So like, we could try to make the you know, buns and the what's going on over here like a little bit see-through-ish, but like I don't know if that's really gonna register, if that's gonna like visually work right, but we can give it a shot. My impulse is to not to, only because I've never really done anything like that, and I think I would have to like grab a bunch of photo reference, and then it's not something that I like thought about before I sat down on the stream. I would have to grab a bunch of photo reference to like kind of figure out how we're going to do it, and then it would be like a lot of trial and error, and then it would be like me noodling on these ribbons for like an hour, and I don't know if anybody really wants to see that. I think you guys want to watch me noodle the ribbons for an hour. I I mean, are we still doing phrasing? Are we? So, do it live, comfort be damned. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Okay. So, I'm okay. Like, I'm outside. I'm well outside the comfort zone right now. But, like, I don't have any problem with that. What I do have a problem with is making a terrible stream, like a terrible product. Being like, okay, guys, let's strap in and watch me do some Google image searches for like a half an hour. And then we're going to get going here. I mean, maybe we could do something. We'll find something in some other piece to do some transparent stuff. I actually did a little bit of transparent stuff in Red Thorn, the first issue of Red Thorn that I did. I tried to make an angel's wings like semi-transparent, but I don't know how successful I was. That was a long time ago, and I'm apprehensive to open the pages for you guys. No offense. It was a long time ago. I'm sure it holds up. We can open the pages in a minute. So, like, I kind of want to make it seem like she's like lit from behind, and it's like a heat behind her, you know, like. So maybe we want to go like, I've been kind of like top down lighting, but maybe we should just go like just trace the full on structure. Like the whole thing. Every outside edge is getting hit. I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. So my friend Nayoung Kim just had her first full issue of comics published. She's gonna be in the Beauty number 17 that I did the cover for. You guys should pick that up if you find it in the shops. I think it'll come out in like a week, 2 weeks. I'm not exactly sure. But that's totally rad, and I'm excited for her. I'm excited for anyone who's you know getting off the ground in this business. This business is tough. So, all right, we've kind of worked the head to a good point. We could kind of like stop here and see like how this is going to turn out, but let's do the rest of the arm over here first. Let's not do it there because, okay, here's my impulse with that. Like if we do like an extreme kind of light source on the thumb over here, and then we do it on the shoulder back there, it'll flatten out. It'll start to look weird. So let's just do the hand instead. By the way, Will, I looked up your version, the one you did. It was good. It was like really painterly. It was like loose, you know what I mean? But it looked good, man. You're not a bad colorist. So I hope that we're making you proud, even that, because I know if you got a little bit of coloring chops, you know, people have aesthetics that they like and stuff like that. You know, I was actually on a stream from K. Michael Russell, and he was coloring something, and he was asking the chat, he was like, what do you guys think, is it done, you know? And I was like talking in the chat a little bit, and he and I are buds, and he was like, what do you think, Nick, is it done? And it's like, he colors so much more differently than I do. Like he is a little bit more technical. It's a little bit less brushy kind of thing. And so to me, I was like, well, I'd change this, I'd change this, I'd change this, I'd change this. But like none of it was wrong. You know, like it still looked good. It was just like my own aesthetic, like flavor was like, I want it like this, you know? So yeah, let's put a little bit more sun down here. And then let's do a little bit down here just to kind of see how it'll look. So I'm going to hit this thing with like white. And we're going to see how that turns out. Fingers crossed. I don't even want to look. All right. We're getting there. I kind of want to do... So like this is starting to get wild. We're starting to be off the rails. I don't know if this is good. Guys, it's really late for me. All right. Like we're just, you know, nobody in the chat tell anybody that this happened. And we'll be all good. So we're going to warm up parts of Chun-li here. What is happening? I mean, maybe we should do like a dark red. Almost. Yeah, maybe both. Bounce between. I don't know. We're figuring it out. I think it looks fine. It's just going to have to like... We're going to have to scale it back a little. A lot of the white is like very distracting. You hadn't done anything painterly before? It was a good first shot, man. Like, the first kind of like painterly stuff that I did was in a book called Brilliant with Mark Bagley, and like, holy shit, like I was like real in the weeds. It went bad. It's a good book, and like there are moments in there where I'm like, you know, like I talk about this too, like when we I've talked about this before, how like you kind of stumble into like good stuff every once in a while when you do this kind of work, when you get out of your comfort zone. It's like, oh, this worked really well, but this didn't, you know, that kind of thing. Well, we're seeing that firsthand, by the way, right now. Like some of this is working really well, and then some of this is not working so well. Yeah, like some of Brilliant, and man, what a title to experiment on, you know, like we're going to be cocky enough to call it Brilliant, and I mean, it's about brilliant kids, but like we're going to be cocky enough to call it Brilliant, and then I'm going to try something new on it, and then it's going to work to limited success, you know? It's life, man, I guess. So yeah, if anybody wants to see like the first stuff I was like digitally painting, there it is out there in the world. So I feel like it's looking good underneath the more warm tones, but like not so much maybe in the tones with her shirt and stuff, but it looks fine. Like I don't know. Let's try something. Let's get wild. Let's Put like a little, put a little glow in it, make it like a little softer. This is, man, this is all over the place. We're really all over the place. We might have to go back. We might have to go back. I don't think, have we ever gone back before on stream? I've done it in real life, but like, I don't know if we've ever done it on stream before. Like, part of it is that maybe I just don't believe the background enough. Let's, hold on. Like, the background is just not believable. We're working it till it's good. We're committed. Because I think there's something worth having in here. I think it's just going to take us a little while and a little bit of experimentation to get there. I don't know if the glow is doing us any favors. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Maybe the background is the thing that's like giving us weird vibes. Are we still feathered? We are still feathered. We're over the line, all right. We are all over the place trying to experiment on this thing. All right. I think it's the background that's given us problems. So, select the background. So if she's going to be lit from behind, maybe we got to like actually light her from behind, you know? We're working with a genius here, right? For some reason this stuff is not getting hit. Is that in there? Yeah, it's in there. Maybe we do regular, see if it gets hit. Yeah, it's getting hit there. I think that's part of the problem. Part of the problem is the background. Whoa. That was not part of the problem. So what if we... So like it's kind of retaining some of her like little glow thing that she's got going on. What if we go like full white behind her? Huh. I don't know. I don't know if this is doing it for me or if this is terrible. Like this is a really tough piece to crack. I think we just got to scale it back a little bit. I think we got too much rendering all over the place, especially within the ribbons and stuff. I think what we want to do, let's back it up. Maybe we want to like do something like this. Kind of make it feel darker behind her, and like she's like blending a little bit. Yeah, I think we're on to something now. Let's kind of take this though And let me see, like, whoa, what was that? What was that? So like, whoa, this brush is nuts. What is even happening? That was something. What is even happening? Stop. Thank you. I'm glad that we set up the voice commands for Photoshop. That was supposed to be a smudge brush, and it was not a smudge brush. It was just kind of weird. Let's take like I kind of want to, oh, it's picking up, that's what's going on. Like the smudge brush is picking up the edges of the line art, you know, that it's picking up like underneath the black, like a little bit of this blue, and then being like, oh, you want to smudge that in there? And it's like, no, we don't want to smudge that in there. We want to keep it like, you know, warm, cool, whatever. Yeah, like we want to separate the planes with warm and cool. So let's just take a regular brush then. And this is like a little fingerprint brush from Kyle Webster. Wow, that's black. Man, this stream, you know, we're just gonna, none of this is usable. We're gonna burn the stream down. Thanks for watching, folks. You know, for anybody who tells you that, like, you know, artists never struggle or whatever, like, freaking bullshit. Cause like, here we are. So I'm trying to add just like a little bit of tooth and texture, and then we're gonna put another gradient through it to kind of like tone the tooth and texture down, get it back to like where we wanted it. And we're only doing it up top. So yeah, we're starting to get into a place now where she's starting to look good. This didn't work for my original intentions. This didn't, like, we're not ending in a place where, and we're nowhere near done right now. But I don't think we're going to be ending in a place that I thought we were going to end in, if that makes any sense. Like, which is kind of exciting. Like, I like it when art gets a little bit off the rails. Now I know we said we weren't going to do this, but maybe we're going to do this. Did you do it? Is it done? There we go. Whew. Photoshop's working. I can hear the computer humming. Okay, so hear me out. We're not just throwing it over the whole thing. Like I said, was lazy. There's a purpose to this. And that purpose is, like, I'm trying to make it seem a little foggy. And I can't do that if we don't put a little bit of tooth in there. We are going to take and we're only going to do it in the background. No, don't fill it with plaid. That's old news. Fill it with plaid is old news. Oh, also, we didn't grab any of this down here when we messed with the background. What you know, is this even professional? Is this even technically a stream? Are we even live? So, let's also, I kind of want to like put a grad in the bottom just to see, like, like what it'll look like if we fade out the bottom. Oh, that's starting to look, we're starting to get into a place where it's starting to look kind of cool. I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're slowly taking this thing and jamming it into a place that's fun. And you know, that's what art's all about. Just, you know, forcing what you want to happen to happen. We're gonna scale back some of this stuff in here because, well, we're on the wrong layer. This is why I don't like to use layers, because I just want to go, man. I just want to go. We're going to scale back some of the warmth in this. So after we do this, we're going to start to amp up some of the cool tones in the piece, especially within the skin. And kind of like do a second rendering on it. It's going to be fun. Hopefully. And will not be not as frustrating. I think we'll get to a place where it's not as frustrating. Not that I'm like crazy frustrated. I just, you know, like want to set out and hit goals. Like you can bet that like this is not going to be the only time that I try this lighting, because like I didn't nail it. You know, and that's fine, but like I'm gonna try again. I'm not gonna be stopped. I can only hope to be contained just a little bit. I'm like, it's gonna be like the Godzilla of lighting. You only hope to contain him a little bit. All right, I actually think that toning down what we had down already, like making it feel a little softer, went a long way to getting this to start to look right. I actually noticed that and avert your eyes, because we're gonna click back to the old one. We actually, well, you're not even gonna get to see the old one. Worked on the line art a little bit, so we're gonna drop it in. See, it's like all in here. We dropped in the line art again. It like ended up too soft. Let's make this stuff black again. Because we goofed it. Are we good? Are we good? We're not good. Are we good? There we go. There we go. All right. So, okay. I'm digging this. I'm digging this a lot. I think that we need to, in order to make this work, you know, like the very pronounced rim light is like really cool, but I think to like really make it work, and we can actually make it look a little more polished. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. Like fuzz it a little bit. I don't know if that. Man, I am wishy-washy on this stream. You know, we're experimenting when I'm like, does this work? Does this not work? Can we do this? Can we not do this? Like, I apologize for the listeners at home, and I know you're not listeners, and we've already goofed the line art again. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. This stream. Whew. Whew. We're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna just, you gotta bear with me. It takes a village. It takes a village. Whew. I gotta turn the fan on. Photoshop's heating up. Sorry, I bumped the mic right then. The Cintiq's going up and down and up and down and up and down. we're just gonna try to polish this up a little. I just kind of want to make this a little tighter. And the hand is actually kind of important, so I kind of want to make it important by making it a little brighter than the stuff around it. So here's the thing. This is what I was trying to make this look like a more smooth transition. But okay, so this is kind of important because like I haven't really talked about this before. It's a lot of amateur colorists will look at this and they'll be like, oh, I wanted to make it smooth and adjusted and whatever, and they'll just like throw a grad through the thing and they'll be like, oh, that's done, you know. But like that's wow, camera, are you focusing on me? You're like all over the place. The camera's as drunk as we are. So they'll throw a grad through it and they'll be like, okay, that's done. But like this doesn't accurately represent like this peach, and like this blue kind of like sucks. And it's the problem is that you're trying to drag a cool color through a warm color. And you're always going to end up with like a grad that like doesn't necessarily work that well. So the only way to like really kind of like figure that stuff out is to kind of like do it by hand kind of. And if you do put a grad through it, you gotta like 50% like little grad, not through the whole thing, just little grad, so that the transition from like one color to the next that are opposite on the color wheel, it's not as harsh, you know, and it's not dragged out over the whole thing, because you're just gonna end up with gray in the middle, you know. It's just gonna be like a muddy poop soup, and you don't want poop soup. You want like good art. I don't know anyone that wants poop soup. It'd be weird if you were like, I'm okay with this poop soup. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, we are going to be taking a break for Thanksgiving. So next week you will not see me, but I will be back in full force after that, and we will also be oh man, I'm really in the color zone now. We'll also be doing some Elder Scrolls tomorrow, some Elder Scrolls Legends. So if you guys want to come and hang out and play some card games, please do. So like, man, I really like the warmth in here, and I really wish it was over here, and it is just not. Like, for whatever reason, like this just didn't end up warm. I think it's this color. This color is so good. How have I not been using this color? We're gonna dump this swatch into the thing. How have I not been using that color this whole time? Madness. So Photoshop, we're kind of in like, you see how like the braids kind of have this like purplish kind of color. Photoshop kind of leans into like a purplish kind of look to it. Like it naturally, just like if you put enough shit down, you will end up with purple in a weird way. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's just kind of like where it lies. You know, like I never had when I was messing around with Corel Painter when I was in college, I never had that problem. And it's funny, like when you see like amateur colorists like come up with portfolios, you can always see where, like, you know, if you have like a trained eye to it, you can always see where the colorist was trying to go Oh, it put the swatch in the library too. We're saving it forever. Thanks, Photoshop. But you can always see, especially with like blue kind of snowy scenes or like night scenes, that like the colorist wanted to do blue and just like put so much stuff down that like it ended up purple. That like I shit you not, like ask, that's like, I feel like that is a really great way to look at a portfolio and be like, you know, if you're trying to like choose a colorist for a project or something, that's a really great way to like look at a portfolio and be like, how much experience does this person have? If they have like weird purple night scenes and they're like, this is fine, then like they're not in a good headspace. Like they're just, you know, it's not that they're not in a good headspace. They're just starting. Weird. I am all over this line art. Like, we're gonna have to like drop it back in. All right. All right. Chun-li Noir is looking good. We're gonna apparently drop the line art back in. We're not gonna do it in the face because I don't want to cut and paste that. Man, I am abusive to the line art. There we go. All right. So we've like darkened our character and we've put a little rim light on her, so it's like moody, but it's like, shit, man, we can't put this on a cover. Like, I look across this is a good way. Okay, so when you talk about covers and stuff, like you zoom in like this and you're like, I don't know, looks good. Got highs, got lows, you know, like a little painterly, little interesting palettes, you know, like we could call it a day. And it's like, well, you can't really, because like if this was a cover, like there's no way we'd get away with this, because you zoom out and it's like, okay, on the shelf it's going to look like this from across the room. Like you're going to see this thing across the room and you're going to be like, what's that weird shape? You know, like it doesn't look like anything. You know, like most people when they first see a comic book in a comic shop, they're not like this close. So let's try to carve out some of the shapes with a little bit of blue bounce light. And we're going to just like not 20, like 10 maybe. Maybe we just decide we're going to do it old school, do it live. So we're gonna put like what we got going on right now is like, we're gonna do this on our new layer so I can show you what my mentality is with this. We have a tube, and I know Chun-Li is not a tube, but for all intents and purposes, let's talk about the lighting. We have a tube right here, and it's getting the like light on the side, and we're even getting light on the top, light on the bottom. You know, we're looking at it straight on. Well, we're not really getting light on the bottom, but you know, and we're kind of like, you know, fading it up, and then like, you know, we're using our special swatch that we just made, and we're like warming up the top here. So like this is kind of what we got going on right now. It's like really high highs on the edges, and then the middle is like pretty dark. It's not like, you know, crazy dark, but like, you know, we could even pull, like, here's a blue from our outfit, here's the middle of it, you know. And like I said, we're running into that problem with like if this was a cover, it would not be a successful cover. What we need to do is carve out the form within this shadow. So we're going to add another light source, and we're going to do it with like a lighter blue. So we're going to add like, maybe not that light, but like, you know, a kind of like bounce light or secondary light source in front of her. We're going to cool her down a little bit so that we kind of like, we model the edges and then we kind of model the interior a little bit, just to kind of like keep it interesting and keep the reader engaged with what we got going on. So, and we're just going to do cuts and grads for that. Actually, don't we have like, oh, that's not going to work because we're on a totally different wavelength as far as like the light source goes. I was hoping like we could just be like, oh, so select the old cuts, throw it in, you know, like, but yeah, nothing's ever easy, and that's the lesson here, folks. Nothing's ever easy. Struggle constantly. You're welcome. So yeah, we're just gonna try to do this like core light value, and I'm just kind of like spitballing it here with the face. You know, it doesn't, like I said before when we were doing the other light source, and I was like, yeah, we're just gonna spitball, whatever, we'll figure it out. Like this, doing the same thing, like doesn't have to be perfect. We're just kind of like, we're just gonna kind of go. And I'm trying to imagine like just like the middle of her, you know, like trying to just make it like glow a little bit, if that makes sense, so that it's interesting. And that's kind of like the name of the game with this piece. Like I was talking about how we're throwing out like anything that makes sense, and like this lighting scheme is like tough to make like actual sense. Like if you had a Chun-Li action figure and you were trying to get this to work, it would be hard. It'd be difficult to do, and because I don't think that like the light really works this way. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be ideal. You know, like you can just like with comics and with color, it's not about like what's technically correct. You know what I mean? It's about like how do we get to like the cool shit. I just want the cool shit. I don't want to be technically correct. You know, Jim Lee was talking about how he was giving a tutorial on perspective on his Twitch account, which you guys should follow him. He's a little known up and coming artist, Jim Lee. He did a couple Wildcats issues back in the 90s, and then hasn't really done a whole lot of work since. I'm really pulling for the guy. But he gave a little tutorial on perspective, and he was like, here's how to do it. And then he was like, I don't do this anymore. And the reason that he doesn't do it anymore is because he's like, you know, he's done it so much he can kind of eyeball it. And like, it doesn't have to be like, he can eyeball it and it doesn't have to be technically 100% correct. Like he can make it look right in the moment. And, you know, like people aren't going to him and being like, you know, we need a technical drawing. Like we need an architect's eye for this drawing, because if you don't draw it correctly, it's going to structurally collapse. Like that's not what's happening with his work. What's happening is like he is like, okay, I've done this enough times. I can like kind of eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know? As long as it looks good, that's the only thing. So we are just adding in that core blue. And like, I kind of want to add it back in her arm, but like I kind of don't. Like it would be back there, but if I do that, it's going to flatten out the hand. So maybe we just keep it like this. And we're kind of falling into like this is like kind of half a color scheme that I've used before and kind of not. Like this is a weird, this turned into a weird beast, and it's gotten away from me a little bit, and that is totally fine. We're gonna be like tweaking the hell out of this too, so whatever, it'll be fine. Don't get worried. I know you're worried. Man, I'm excited to draft some cards tomorrow. I've been playing, I haven't been playing any Elder Scrolls Legends because I've been chipping away at Breath of the Wild. That's been kind of like taking up all my free time, and I actually woke up a little late today because I was playing Breath of the Wild like later than I should have, but you know, like that's alright. That happens. Boss wasn't too pissed. Alright, so because we should actually do a little bit on our arm, we're like kind of following what we put down before. Kind of. So we want to keep the drama up by her face. So we're gonna use a grad. And we're gonna select, let's select the blue out of the core of this thing and see how that looks. 50% screen, and we're just gonna pull the grad from her face. Yeah, so that didn't do anything for some reason. We're gonna figure that out because we're on the wrong layer. Cool. All right, so we're putting in that core. Yeah, man. Like I'm like brighter. Let's do this fucking thing. Yeah, this looks good. It almost looks like she's like weirdly glowing. We're gonna fix that. It's a little harsh on her face. We're gonna fix that. But like the hand looks dope. We're gonna tweak it a little bit, but we're starting to feel the hotness. All right, let's deselect her outfit. Look in particular looks really nice, and you know that's why people buy Street Fighter comics, to check out the outfits, right guys? I mean, that might actually be, if you ever do a Google search of Chun-Li outfits, that might actually be why people pick up Street Fighter. It's a questionable search. Don't go too deep in there, because oh man, there's some people making stuff that is questionable. Oh man, I think we talked about it earlier, like the last stream. I was like a little bit shocked by not that I have like a delicate sensibility, but I was just like, oh my god, you know, like the sheer volume of it is I think what shocked me, not the content. Just like, this is a thing that clearly is not just like one person's thing. Chun-li streams are great. Yeah, man. I really like his streams. He does like video game stuff too. He does like a little bit of PUBG and stuff, which is cool. I don't know if I could do PUBG. I think it would freaking melt my brain. I kind of want to like make these things like red. Oh man, is this gonna get weird? I kind of want to make the piping red. Let's select all the piping. That is all the everything. All right, we got all the piping. Select anything that's like high brightness. So now normally, you know, I was saying that, like, you know, you want to make this, when you make something, you want to make it entertaining, and like it, like right now, you like the piping with a yellow with a blue on it would turn like a grayish color. It you know, like this is pretty accurate to where it would be this like bland gray, but we are gonna blast it with red because fuck you, color. You do what I say. And by doing that, we're kind of like highlighting the hips a little bit in our outfit. It's also kind of like we're starting to like fucking vibrate with color. Like this shit is out of control. And I love it. I'm excited to get weird. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of like go in and paint some of the details and stuff. You know, kind of like fix the forms and things like that. You know, make her outfit look like it is doing the forms and shapes that it should be doing. I think I did something similar in the last stream when we got to this part. We're going to throw a grad through this thing. We forgot her little clips over there on the side here. That's alright. We'll get them. Well, I see you. I'm a big fan of like vibrating color. And I know like when we set out to do this shows like how far off the fucking path we are from like where we started. Is like I was like, yes, we're gonna do Chun-li noir, and like it might be noir in like the color scheme, like, or not the color scheme, but the like lighting. The lighting is very noir, but like the rest of it is like, okay, now we're gonna vibrate the colors, you know, like you do. And it's like, well, I don't think vibrating colors is noir, but you know, here we are. Here we noir. Got there. I don't even regret it. You heard it. We're kind of saying that like this blue core light is like lit from the bottom, kind of. But like we're really just kind of making it look good rather than making it look, you know, whatever. I'm getting emails from editors. It's cool, guys. We're spending time with you. Yeah, so we got green screen stuff coming probably next time we stream. I'll have it all set up. I have the editors, or not the editors. The editors are you know, trying to get me. I'm very in demand right now. But I'm getting the interns to like work on the green screen, so it's all set up by the time we come back from Thanksgiving. Now I've learned what's like kind of deceptive about the green screen is that you know, like a normal green screen, and we did not get a normal green screen. A normal green screen is just like a sheet of green fabric kind of thing, and you like use it to key images off of or whatever. But like what I got was like a like polymer nanite weave nanites courtesy of Ray Palmer, and so what I got is like a lot harder to figure out. You actually have to, the version that I got, and the nanites actually do this thing where they respond to, like, if you're looking at them. So, like, they can actually tell if you're looking at them, which is a little bit weird. And they're judgy. They're a little bit judgmental. At any rate, so they kind of like, it like kind of works, but like, you know, the interns are really working on it. You know, they gotta like really put their back into like starting up the computer. Yeah, it's a you know, a ripcord start, because it's like, so it's an incredibly powerful computer. They don't sell it on the market. It's I mean, it's not gasoline. That'd be ridiculous. It's diesel, first of all. And you know, the interns are working around the clock. I got 15 of the 16 interns kind of taking care of it, and then I have like the last intern like managing this stream right now. And if you know, Craig wasn't on that, he'd probably be on something else. So he'd probably be on the green screen, the nanites. So courtesy of Ray Palmer. So we're kind of doing a weird thing with her nose, and I don't know if I like it. It's turning into, so the more we render the face, the weirder and weirder it's looking. We're gonna fix this. I think the problem is that it's like too blue. So let's fix that. Let's even it out. Because if you look at the hand isn't too blue, but the face is definitely too blue. And I think it's because like that's where the core of the gradient was. That's where like the start of it was. So it's going to be the most intense there. So let's try to walk it back. All right, normal. Yeah, like softening everything up like helped in a huge way. So we can kind of take the base here and like kind of have her lit from the bottom. We can do that. Let's take, can we take a highlight out of here? No. We're just gonna highlight ourselves. We're just gonna do it ourselves. All right. This is starting to like heat up. It's starting to look good. The blue in her eyes looks real good, like picking up a little extra light. Yeah, we're like on our way. I'm like mentally I'm hearing Chun-Li's Street Fighter theme song, and I'm like, yes, yes, we're getting there. Let's take a little bit of the red out here, kind of put it in her eyes just a little bit. So we kind of got both color schemes going in the eyes. Whoo, baby! Now, this might be the sleep deprivation talking, but I think we're on to something. And I'm going to post, I haven't posted the original version because we tweaked it a little bit on stream. But I'm going to post both versions on my social media stuff. So you guys can check it out. And we're almost done. We're like rounding the bend here. I kind of want to like just real quickly hit this stuff with like a little bit of color, to kind of make like the whole thing seem realistic. The Realm 3 came out just this week, just this Wednesday. I hope you guys picked it up. Deadpool, the third Deadpool that I've worked on came out just recently as well. I don't know if I promoted it enough. It's really great. It's Cable versus Deadpool, and they're murdering each other, and it's great. You know, if you want two guys to murder each other, I feel like those are the guys you get. Not Brand Eck. I don't EECCH or whatever. Like, I have a short story in there with Scott Kobelish, who works on the Deadpool stuff with me. He's awesome. Oh no. Now we're starting to get into the side here. We're starting to get into the arm, and I'm like, we should tweak this. We should change this. We should. And I'm like, no, we're done. We're done, Filardi. Let's pack it up. All right. I think we're done. I think where she ended up was pretty fucking cool. It was a tough road. There was a lot of profanity, even now in the 11th hour. Let's do a couple more things just to like experiment a little bit. Modify, contract. We're super blacking this piece. And super blacking, for anyone who doesn't know, is like prepping it for print, making sure that the black line art stays black. Man, I really like the little like highlight under the nose and the top lip rather than the bottom lip, and right here, like, it's just, oh, it's getting, it looks so good. It makes me emotional. We got to a good place. I'm very excited about it. I apologize. You shouldn't love your work as much as this. And you know what? All I'm doing is I'm loving this because it ended up in a place that I didn't expect it to go, and I'm loving it now because tomorrow I may wake up and be like, "What were we thinking?" Because I am a little bit tired. Let's add a little bit of glare directly behind her. And let's select the line art and go 20/80/80 and put that directly in this spot here. Yeah, I feel like this ended in like a really strong place. Man, I almost want to like punch out the line art. Like, would that be too ambitious? Would that be too crazy? Let's see. Let's see. Maybe just the side of her head. And like this. Oh, now we selected the eye. Like, is this nuts? Are we high on our own supply right now? Ooh, baby. I don't know. I can't tell. Is the problem with the red? Does the red have to scale back? Whoa! Hello. Is the problem with the red? Does it have to go pink? Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, now I'm like, shit. Do we fade the buns? Oh, man. We could go real deep. We could go real deep. Let's, for a hot second, let's just to see if this looks good. We're going to go a little bit deeper. And we're going to try to render, because it's supposed to be smoky, right? Like, that's what I said earlier with the texture and stuff. Like, the only way that you would kind of see this, like, weird toothy texture in the air. Like what we've essentially simulated with the textures is we've simulated like air molecules in the air being hit by light. So that means that we're in like kind of like a foggy situation, or like a textury kind of like a foggy or like misty or like, you know, that kind of thing. So maybe we can, with that in mind, and part of the reason why I'm doing this is because when we colorize the side of her head, it's starting to make the ribbons look weird. So let's try something. I want to keep all the black selected, but let's kind of deselect everything around here. So we have like just the ribbons selected. And let's do like a crazy fucking layer mask. Okay. All right. Let's try to get it so that we can get as close to completely erasing the ribbons as possible. So we're working, this is like masked off. So if you like if we turn the mask off, or here, I'll show you what the mask is. The mask is just the ribbons. It's like what we've created. And so now we're working on a layer that's like, basically it's all one color, but you only see through where the mask is. So, and I'm trying to just like use some gradients. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm trying to make it as close to the background as possible. All right, so that's pretty close. Let's go into the mask and just kind of like paint out where we want. We can fade this whole thing too. So when this guy is closest to, when the ribbon is closest to her hair, it's going to be the darkest. So we can select the mask. Oh, we should make sure all the black is deselected. Select the mask. We're working on the mask. Whoa. Yeah, we're working on the mask. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's kind of like take it out in pieces. So we're doing some weird shit that I did not expect us to do with this piece at all. Apologize if I'm like way off the rails and you guys are like, oh, layer masks, we're so bored. So by working on the layer mask, we can kind of like tweak it how we want to tweak it. We can even add a little bit of tooth to it, which I think we might end up doing. So like we're trying to get the ribbon to look like it's falling behind her. And in order to do that, let's select this ribbon. Trying to get it to like fall behind her and look like it's fallen behind her in such a way that it's like back in the smoke or whatever. It's smoky behind her, it's smoky all around her, but she's like clearest to us when she's like full face forward. So we're trying to blend it into the background a little bit. And we're just kind of doing this through layer masks. This ribbon would actually be just like coming forward a little more than the other ribbon. Yeah. And then it's kind of set up to fall back a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we're creating a little bit of depth here. And since we're working on the mask, we can then like tweak the color that we put down too. So right now we're only thinking about rendering. We're only thinking about like how to make the rendering look right. And we can go into the mask itself and like you're like this, I don't know what's like shade gray that is, but we can definitely select it with the eyedropper and like, you know, go to town. So like this cut looks a little weird, so let's select it with the eyedropper and kind of like fade out that cut so that it doesn't look so weird. Yeah, now it'll look a little bit better. Yeah, looks a little bit better. And we can go over here and do the same thing to these. These are actually a little more, you know what, actually, I was going to say these are a little more flat, but they're actually not. This guy is clearly in front of the other one. So, I'm going to select the black. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. So this is some like weird shit. This is not something that I recommend is like helpful or useful to like anybody who is just like starting to color, but like this is something that I've been experimenting more with lately. So like we can now change the color that we put down for this thing. So we can make them blue, we can make them whatever, like, you know, we can wash it with red. You know, like the red looks really good because it's like, you know, kind of blending in more with the background. We can adjust the color balance and we retain the actual rendering that we put down for the ribbons as well. So it's kind of neat. Oh man, this thing looked so good. I did not expect to end up here, but here we are. Man, I kind of want to knock out some of the line art over here too, like kind of keep the train rolling. Maybe we will. And like I was saying before, when like K. Michael Russell was like, "Are we done with this piece? I don't know, Nick. What do you think?" And I was like, "Well, my taste is a little different than yours." K. Michael Russell does like all of his coloring pretty much exclusively with masks and shit. Like what we did for these, like he kind of does all the time. And I've only started using masks like, what are we, like fucking 15 years into the career? Like nuts. So there you go. There's a lot of different ways to color in Photoshop. We got there with a multiple, you know, kind of thing going on. Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is perfect. I really wish Will signed this thing so that I could sign this thing, because I had so much fun coloring it. I think we're gonna call it for today. let's show them side by side. So the one on the right is the one that like we did for fun, and the one on the left is kind of like what we think Capcom would want, kind of thing. Very different versions of the same piece. When you start coloring, you want to think about this stuff. You want to think about like where you want to put each, like what the piece is for, who the piece is trying to communicate to. Like, I think that my preference is the one on the right, but a lot of people who are looking for like character design or whatever are not going to pick the one on the right. They're going to pick the one on the left, because the one on the left accurately communicates the colors within the character. Whereas the one on the right, I'm like all over the fucking place, you know, with mood and lighting and whatever. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like kind of a crazy beast, trying to like figure this out. Should we saturate a little more? Oh man, we can't even saturate any more than we already. Oh, we're on the wrong one. Don't look at me. Oh yeah, saturation like blows it out. So that means we're like, if the saturation blows it out like it does right then, like we upped the saturation on the one on the left to like 28 or whatever. Like if we do it on this one, it like blows it out. Like it doesn't look good anymore. And that's usually a good sign of like we've hit the like peak saturation. If you want color, if you want a ton of color in it, we've hit the peak saturation before it like falls off the rails and like into a place where Photoshop just like is like, I don't know, fucking purple, here you go, you know? Yeah, man. Yeah, we did some good work today. I'm excited about it. I just want to like tweak it all day. But we won't. We're going to post it on social media. Follow me right up there. Nickfil on Twitter. Nick _ Filardi on Instagram. We're going to be posting both of these up there. You should check them out because they're going to look different. Like your computer monitor's a little bit different. Twitch is interpreting it in a different way. You know, like there's all of these, we're streaming, whatever, bit rates. I don't know. Shit's magic. But like, you know, it's going to look a little bit different when you see it on your Twitch or Twitter or your Twitter feed or your Instagram or whatever. So I urge you to come check it out. If you like what we're doing here, you can subscribe and you will get custom badges. And you will get, we have an emoticon that's coming up that is yet to be approved, that says, "Don't look at me." And you get access to the Discord sub only stuff, which means you get like, if you have a portfolio you want me to review on stream or off, I'm here for you. I'll take a look at your work. I'll give it an objective eye, which I think is very important to people starting out, because a lot of times you have your friends around you that like are trying to do the same thing, or you have like your parents or whatever, like people who like, you're not going to get a fair portfolio review from your parents, but I will give you a fair portfolio review. Let you know where you got to improve. Additionally, you'll get access to suggesting stuff for the community. Like this, we did Will Jones. It was suggested by Joel Bartlett. And their information's up there. Joel Bartlett's right there. Will Jones is, I don't know how to get my arm to work in this weird thing, but it's up there. Yeah, you follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter. If you sub, you get to like suggest stuff. You want me to see me tackle stuff out of my comfort zone. You want to torture me with terrible line art. You want to torture me with complex line art. Throw down a sub. If you have Amazon, you can link it all together. Throw down a sub. It's crazy. But yeah, I won't shill any harder because this is already off the rails. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're going to be drafting some cards next stream tomorrow. And then we're going to be off for a week. So don't go anywhere. We will be back. And we will be back with some cool stuff going on. So check it out. Later, guys.